Hello everybody, welcome to round 5 of the Clio Cup Middle East, live from Dubai Autodrome. Race 1 of 2 here this weekend, supporting the Hankook 24 Hours of Dubai. 25-minute race plus 1 lap, and we have 15 cars on the grid. They have had a fantastic season so far. Starting off here in Abu Dhabi, 8th and 9th of December, and then Dubai, December 15th, 16th. January 6th and 7th back down in Abu Dhabi, and the following weekend as well, the 13th and 14th, very busy for these cars. And this weekend here in Dubai, and then they'll be back racing again in Abu Dhabi at the Yash Racing weekends in February 9th to 11th to finish off their season. The sun has gone down, and the lights of the circuit here at the Dubai Autodrome just kicking in as everybody is getting ready for a bit of Clio racing, and it's always exciting stuff with the Renault Clios. The Renault Clio RS, they've 5 version of these, 5-speed sequential gearbox, 1.3 litre turbo engine. And there you can see they're looking down the start-finish straight from turn 16 down into turn number 1. And with single make racing, there is always a lot of interesting manoeuvres, and what we're going to see a lot of this weekend will be more of the slipstreaming. We've got 2 very long straights here at this circuit, and it really benefits. And I was talking to James Greenwood down at Yass a couple of weekends ago, and he was really surprised at how strong the toe is down the straights. And there you can see the beautiful Clio Cup cars, all run by the GPX Racing, running the series here in the Middle East. And that is our car number 10, our pole sitter, Stanislav Novikov. And we'll go through some of their positions in the championship in not too distant future. Moving across to Eduardo Miranda's car, number 5 car. He's had a pretty good season, currently leading on 108 points. In a very stunning looking Clio. The 55 of Yusuf Gaber, currently running 10th in the overall standings for this championship. Getting a bit cooler down there on the grid. It's the 88 of Ilya Sidorov. Just some words of advice from his crew. Couple of categories running here this way. We've got challengers, gentlemen drivers, which there is a lady amongst them. As we look at car number 64, and that is 5th position, Ahmed Al Malahi. He's been racing for quite a few years and very accomplished. There might be a few vacant gaps on the grid. We did have qualifying earlier on today. As I said, this is the first of 2 races this weekend. It's car number 32, Alexander Chachava. A few different colour schemes this weekend as well. There's Fred Fadian down there on the grid, outside Mr. Greenwood's car. James Greenwood currently running 7th in the championship and 7th on the grid. That all makes it very sweet and nice. Running the staggered grid this weekend. Avik Anwar in the 71 car. In 8th position. There we can see John Simmons standing outside the car of his daughter, Charlotte Simmons, at the wheel. He's standing in for Phil Quaife, who's normally Charlotte's driver coach, but Phil's having his honeymoon this weekend, and there's Charlotte at the wheel. Currently in the standings, running 9th in the overall standings, and 6th in the gentleman drivers standings. So I may have to change that. Steve Laidlaw, the UK from TTR, another one of the TTR cars. We saw them in the Super and running the GT4, run a lot of radicals in the local championship, and a grid, nice grid of 15 cars as we have a look at Steve Laidlaw in the 100 for TTR again. As the engines get switched on. Around about 2 minutes 20 seconds is the lap time for these type of cars with the small turbo engine in it. 101 is Sam Laidlaw, both the Laidlaws, father and son, out there on the grid. Now, Sam is running in the Challenger Series and Steve is running in the Gentleman Drivers Series. Connor Younger starting in 14th position in the number 4. There's car 49. Ivan my apologies, Tverdolbivov, and the back of the field, after getting a penalty slightly earlier on in qualifying, has to start down the back. And there's the grid. Stanislav Novikov starting in pole position. Alongside him on the front row from Unique Racing is Eduardo Miranda. In 3rd position, Yusuf Gaber from Unique Racing in car 55. And then Ilya Sodorov from Continental Racing in car number 18 in position 4. Position 5, Ahmed Al-Malhahi from Track Time Racing in car number 64. Car number 32 in 6th position, Alexander Chachava from Rumos Racing. EBCX Motorsport, James Greenwood running in 7th position in car number 27. And then Avik Anwar for Racing DNA in 8th position. Charlotte Simmons from EBCX Motorsport starts in car 28 in 9th position. Raheel Taneja hasn't been feeling well this weekend. We hope he has a good race. Starts in 10th. Steve Laidlaw in 11th, and Sam Laidlaw in 12th position. Alex Renner from ARM Motors in car number 99. He had an engine issue earlier on, and we'll just wait and see how that goes for him. Then we have Connor Younger in 14th, and Ivan Dolibov in 15th position. That is all 15 cars with their lights now switched on. They'll be heading off very, very shortly for their formation lap. Clio Cups will be a standing start. As you can see, the track lighting now starting to have effect as the daylight slowly disappears. The sunset was just on 6 o'clock this evening. And beautiful conditions for this Clio Cup race, round 5 of 7 in the 23-24 season. And a lot of drivers who we've got around about on the entry list, around about 19 cars that we have for this, but it's all dependent on where drivers are here for work, etc., etc. As we see the sun setting behind the grandstand at the southern end of the circuit where turn 1 is. And our fantastic crew clearing the grid, our EMSO marshals. And we have the BMW safety cars here this weekend, looking after both the races, the Clio 2 races and the 24-hour race. And the seconds boards are being held out. There's the 30-second board. Everybody, we're just working out where the clutch is. 5-speed sequential gearbox in these cars. We're laying a little bit of rubber down, running on Michelin tyres, which these Cup cars are made for. Just waiting for the green flag. It will take them away on their warm-up lap. And as we looked at them coming away to the right-hand side, on the grandstand side, that is the pole position, driver's left. Okay, that's where all the sticky rubber is from all of the racing that has been going on so far this weekend, and practicing and qualifying. And this is the first real race we're having this weekend as they negotiate turn 1. Then they come around the kink at turn 2. They've got to be careful of track limits. Then it's up through this 3-4 combination, brings them up over the top of the hill. Then we start the run down the hill for the left-hand kink at 5. And then it's normally down a gear into the right-hander at 6. And you let the car flow through there. Front-wheel drive Clios. And now we're coming down into turn number 7. Now this tightens up quite. This is a little bit of brake there and down a gear around turn number 7, which will bring them back out onto this area here. The turn 8, 9, which is the parabolica, it's banked, and that heads down this very, very long back straight. As I said before, there's going to be a lot of slipstreaming here and changes of positions at the end of the straight. Getting a good drive out of that turn 9 is absolutely crucial. Maximising your top end speed down this over kilometre long straight, and then you can see it gets a bit bumpy down into the braking zone. You've got to watch the rear end of these cars. They get very, very light under those heavy brake loads. And then we come around turn 10, and then 11 leads us up the hill to turn 12. Quite a big bump on the apex of this. You don't want to run too wide out. It's going to compromise your speed. And then it goes uphill, exits downhill. It's following James Greenwood. And there you can see the sweeper at turn 13. You don't want to back off through there. You need to keep it absolutely planted until you get into the braking zone down here into turn 14. The bowl behind the pit complex. And it's the last of the late breakers coming down into here. Multiple lines through 14. Now we pick the cars up coming after coming through 14, 15. This is the final corner. This is turn 16, downhill. Really easy for the cars to push wide here and run out over those ripple strips where you lose a lot of grip So you want to keep it as on the circuit, but not on those ripple strips to maximise your speed down the start-finish straight under the lights of the grandstand as Stanislav Novikov pulls it up into pole position. Eduardo Miranda alongside him. Yusuf Gaber and Ilya Sidorov in on the second row. Ahmed Al-Malahi and Jason Chachava on the third row. James Greenwood and Avik Anwar on the fourth row. Charlotte Simmons, Rahel Tunisia on the fifth row. And I think we're all lined up. Stationary start, engaging first gear, sequential gearbox. You just pull back on the gear stick to go up, push it forward to go. Green flag at the back, waiting for the red lights to come on. There's one, there's two, there's three, there's four, there's five. Revs are up, off the limiter, and we are racing. Who gets the best start? Novikov just moves across. Remember, the first corner is a right-hander. He needs to cover that line. Now he's on the dirty side of the track. You can see it blowing all the dust up. We've got cars spread across the circuit as they make their way back out. There's the pit exit there. Lock up on the outside. A couple of lock-ups there. The Michelins aren't up to temperature as we follow all these cars through turn number one as they move into the kink of turn two. Lots of positional changes going on so far. I'm going to wait for I can see the sector zones as they make their way up around the turn 3-4 complex. Good battle going on for second position. Oh, very close there from Miranda, losing the back end of the car coming through there. Car 88's made a move up. Ilya Sidorov up into third position. They're now heading down towards turn number 8. And then turn number 9. And then now out onto the back straight. A gap is the top 5 have pulled clear. And there's a little bit of a gap forming behind them. Was single file. Now everybody's pulling out of the draft. Heading down into the braking zone at turn number 10. Oh, a throw up the inside. Is that Miranda trying up the inside of the 10? All there side by side, bouncing off each other. And it looks like Miranda's got that. Novikov's gone wide to try and get a better line running up the hill. But he's coming under pressure from the third place car, the 88 of Sidorov. And that is Miranda into the lead. He's leading the championship on 108 points at the moment. The move was done down at turn number 10, and he's pulled a couple of car lengths as they head down into turn. Oh, he locks up into turn 14. Has closed the pack up behind him somewhat. Position changing down the back end of the field as well. And we were correct, Alex Renner didn't start this race. He did have an engine issue in qualifying. So we have 14 cars on the track. He did qualify, but he just couldn't start. Now they're all going to change positions as we go across the line. The big mover at the moment. Turdolobov down there, started at the back of the field, already up into 9th position after one lap. A big move from that. And Sidorov up into 3rd. Then it's Chachawa, James Greenwood, Steve Laidlaw all moving up. Ahmed Al-Malahi dropped down into 8th on that first lap. Charlie Simmons dropped from 9th down into 12th. Side by side coming through 5 and 6. That's the 64. Just making the move sticks at the moment. That's Ahmed Al-Malahi. He went backward, having a battle there with the 49 of Turdolobov. As the cars now making their way onto the back straight for the second lap. I think we had about 10 changes of position on that lap. The only person who stayed in his position was 13th place Connor Younger. Everybody else has moved. Ran up to Tunisia, not feeling well, and down the back of the field at the moment as the brakes get a lock up and getting some hard work on the 88. Currently in 3rd position, Stanislav Nikolov. as they make their way up to turn 12. One eye on the road in front, one eye in the mirror behind. Different lines coming out of turn number 12 as they make their way down through the three sweeper at 13. Battle going on right down the back of the field. That's Charlie Simmons, Connor Younger and Rahel Tanija having a battle back there. Alex, I think, sorry, it was Avic Anwar, Charlie Simmons and Connor Younger having that battle. Oh, the car running deep into the bowl. Luckily, it's banked there. You can get the car back online, but you do lose some speed. So they make their way up to 13. And that is the 100 of Steve Laidlaw running deep there. And Ahmed Al-Malai had a very good look up the inside of him coming out of turn 14. He's lost a few places off the start, and he's starting to move back up into the field. And Avic Anwar did get past Steve Laidlaw on that one as for 10th position. Rahel Tanija, Connor Younger into the pits. Younger into the pits from 14th position. As this battle continues on. That's James Greenwood and Steve Laidlaw. Laidlaw in the 100, James Greenwood in the 27. They're all tripping over each other as they make their way down through into turn number 5. How many lines around a racetrack does the Clio Cup have? Well, as many as you can fit across the circuit, because they are using very varied lines at the moment. As Eduardo Miranda has around about a 0.5 second lead over Stanislav Novikov. And then it's 1.4 back to Ilya Sidorov in 3rd position. Yusuf Gaber in 4th. Just a 0.6 of a second. And these lead two now starting to break away. Very hard to make this gap up. We're 4 wide further back down the field. And this battle pack is just starting to kick off now. And it's green. That's Greenwood. Ahmed Al-Malai, Tverdolubov, Anwar, Laidlaw, Charlie Simmons, all in a battle back there. And once you get into a battle, you just can't seem to get away. As Novikov in 2nd position does his fastest middle sector, a 56.640. So make their way down through the kink at turn 13. Difficult under brakes there. You can see these cars yet flying the rear wheel, not even rotating. These chassis are so stiff in these purpose-built Clio Cup cars. Started back in the 172 Cup car, 182, 192, and 200, and this is version 5 of that. As we follow the cars through turn number 16. Gap between our two leaders just under half a second at the moment. Miranda and Novikov, 2.5 back to Sidorov. The battle behind, and Lahi did get past Laidlaw up into 7th position, but big battles going on there. There's a move up the inside. I think that was Tverdolubov on Laidlaw. Let's see if he can make that move stick. Started down the back in 14th position, so 15th position on the grid, but we already have lost Alex Renner as did not start, and Colin Younger had came into the pits with an issue there. Big lock up there for the 71. Avic Anwar really putting the car and these Michelin tyres on the limit. 16:30 to go on the clock, plus 1 lap. As we're side by side down into the braking zone. Car 8, number 5 and number 10. This is our race leaders. Miranda in the 5, Novikov in the 10. It didn't take Novikov very much longer. He did the fastest lap of that race, but it was only 5 1/100ths quicker than Miranda in front of him. Now we're starting to crawl over the back of him as they come out of turn 12, making their way down to the sweeper at 13. There's another opportunity. Little tap on the brakes there, which means he's feeling a little bit of pad knock-off. Is he going to throw it down the inside? He's going to have a go down under brakes, but he's locked it way up, all over the curbs. He gathers it all back together. He's lost a heap of road speed, but he blocks the way coming out of the corner, but that's not going to work. He's too slow going up the hill. He lost about 20 kilometres of road speed, and you just can't do that in these Clio Cup cars. They're all identical, and you lose that much speed, you just become a sitting duck. And unfortunately, he just went a little bit too deep, asked a little bit too much of the brakes of the Michelin tyres, and that didn't end well for him at the moment as they come across the line. It's Miranda, Novikov, Sidorov in third, Gaber in fourth, Chachava in fifth. Let's see, wait for the next group to go through. It's Ahmed Almahi in sixth. Todolibov has got up into eighth position. Laidlaw down into ninth. And let's have a look at what's been happening with this little battle pack. A little bit, oh, the 100 up on two wheels. That's Steve Laidlaw getting a bit of airtime. This isn't a motorcycle race, Stephen, but put at least three wheels on the ground. And we can see these cars, they get really light. The drivers are pushing them so hard. It's so hard to make gaps, and it's so hard to keep gaps. And as the fuel load burns off, these cars get lighter. And yeah, it's it's very, very entertaining to watch. We've got 14 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this 25-minute plus one lap race. We'll have another race tomorrow before the 24 hours of Dubai. Charlotte Simmons looks like she may have moved up onto Steve Laidlaw as well on this lap. We've done 4. We're on lap number 5 here. Surpass for the lead again down into turn 10. It's Novikov over Miranda over Novikov, 10 over 5. Now they've got to leave a little bit of racing room. I'm not even going to go where the stewards are going to go with it. Racing room in the Clio Cup car. Can't run too wide up. Now we're on the run up to turn 12, and it's Novikov in the lead from Miranda. Miranda's going to do the over-under here. Maybe give him a little touch on the exit. No, not going to do that just there. But he's going to have another try down under brakes. Down into turn number 14. Outside, inside, no, and he might have flat spotted a tyre. They're both locking up that left-hand inside reel. That just happens because they get three-wheel it through turn 14. Number 10 still in the lead, Novikov from Miranda. These guys have got around about 3 seconds over Sidorov in third position. Heading down towards the final corner onto the start-finish straight. There's a battle pack in the bowl. They're all tripping over each other. This is Clio Cup racing at its best. There's a whole heap of people in that battle from Greenwood all the way back to Anwar in 10th position. And there they go, all changing positions again. Todolibov has moved up into 6th, Laidlaw 7th, Greenwood down to 8th, Ahmed Al-Malhay down to 9th, Anwar stays in 10th. Charlie Simmons has got past Sam Laidlaw up into 11th position. Around about 12 minutes to go, plus one lap. As we go through turn 7. Now into 8, the first part of the parabolica, and into 9th. These guys are coming down through turn 5 at the moment. It's the 101 having the battle with the 27 or the 28 of Charlotte Simmons. There's more two-wheel action there from the 101. That's Sam Laidlaw. He's got past Charlie Simmons. She's got back, trying to get back past him again into the bowl. It's the EBC X car on the inside. And it looks like the move has stuck. So back up into 11th position. Keeping an eye on our lead battle. There's a 49 and the 100 heading down into turn number 10. Todolibov and Laidlaw. And then that battle pack behind him, you throw a blanket over them. Greenwood, Al-Mahari, Anwar, Simmons and Laidlaw. Sam Laidlaw, that is, running in the Challenger standings. Oh, that's very wide for the 27. James Greenwood running very wide out of turn 12. Push these cars too hard and they will just understeer off the circuit. Lots of brakes being locked up down into turn 14. Everybody on absolute maximum attack at the moment with just over 10 minutes to go in race number 1 for the Clio Cup Middle East, round number 4 here at the Dubai Autodrome. And Novikov just keeping Miranda at bay as they head down into turn 1. 2:24.479 on that last lap, fastest lap of the race for Novikov. So they make their way through turn 5 over on the far side of the circuit into the tightening 6 and then into the tightening number 7. You see the brake lights go on there, down probably a gear. Get the wheels rotating again as they make their way up to the parabolic. A couple of lines through here. The racing line is a bit more consistent line. Go up high, get down low, get onto the power a little bit early on the exit. Don't try and get on the power too early. It'll just push wide up onto the ripple strips. That gap just eking out a little bit. Novikov's just getting a little bit better time now. Another fastest sector 1 for Novikov. 2:24.479, just probably just under a tenth quicker than Eduardo Miranda. Miranda running in the Challengers Cup, Challengers Championship. Novikov running in the Gentlemen's Championship. There's the battle. Continues on 3 wide down into the braking zone. It's the 71. Anwar trying up the inside of the 27. That's James Greenwood. Then they trip all over each other again as they head around turn 11. The 27 of Greenwood now leading that battle. Car 28 and 5 getting track warning limits now. Oh, 3 wide coming out of 12. Everybody pushing a little bit too hard on that one. This could make some major changes to the standings. Down the inside on Charlie Simmons. Oh, they're going to go. Oh, that's going to be a late move. Oh, there was a tap there, the 101 getting into the back of the 71. So Avik Anwar getting contact from Sam Laidlaw. Luckily, there's no radiators in the back of these cars, but there are in the front. So they make their way down to turn 16. Now it's starting to get a bit iffy out there. Eduardo Miranda now with a 2:24.461, and he was 1/100th of a second quicker than Novikov. Has he got anything to come back with? He's 0.4 of a second behind at the moment. Then there's a massive gap to Sidorov back in third position, around about 6 seconds. And then we've got this battle on behind Steve Laidlaw at the moment. But that may have petered out just slightly. There was a few more gaps opening up there in the second part of that battle pack. As a little bit of contact comes away. 101 at the back of that. That's Laidlaw, Simmons, Anwar, Greenwood. This battle pack. 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. And here they go, changing positions again. Fantastic fun racing in these cars. The 27 up the inside. That's James Greenwood. Can he make that stick around there? Well, he's got the 71 now for close company. Avik Anwar down the outside. Anwar down the inside. Charlie Simmons down the outside. And Sam Laidlaw has gone up behind Charlie Simmons. She's going to have the best run into the corner to keep the most speed. And she's going to do one of them. She's going to get both of them. No, the 71 stays up. There's contact between the 71 and Simmons. Now we've got the 27 off as well. As they all come out, we've got 2 cars into the wall down at turn number The entrance to turn number 11. It's the 71 that hasn't come through. Let's have a look at the replay, because this all kicked off around turn number 10. All battling there. Now Charlie Simmons goes out wide. She's going to get the best grip out there. We've got the battle between the 71 and the 27 on the inside. So now they're 3 wide. The 71 pushes wide, contacts with Simmons on the outside. Then the 71 and Simmons come together again, and the 71 and the 27 are off the circuit down at turn number 10. And we've got the safety car being called. Safety car has been called. We have 5 minutes left on the clock. So the field now will form up behind the BMW safety car as the drivers exit the vehicles, trying to find a way off the circuit. The emergency vehicles will be down there very, very shortly to fix that up. They all wear the same racing suits, so it's really difficult for me to tell who that is. Okay, but yeah, that was big. We have our and that's great news. The 71 Abigail out of the vehicle. Just having a look. Can I get this fixed before tomorrow? So it was Charlotte Simmons that came back across the road there after contact earlier on in that one. And you can see the damage there to the left front of the 27 of James Greenwood. We'll leave that one up to the stewards. Medical always in attendance. Everybody just checking that the power switches are off. Safety car will be waiting for them on the start-finish line. The field just making its way down the back straight now. 3:44 on the clock. By the time we get these cars recovered, if they're towable, it's not too bad. If they've got to go on the back of a flatbed, we will be finishing under a safety car. Unfortunately, there will not be enough time left on the clock. There's the first of the tilt beds coming in to see if they can form up on the 27. Phil goes past behind the BMW safety car. As we stand at the moment, Novikov leading from Miranda. Sidorov in 3rd, Gaber 4th, Tachava 5th, Terdolovov in 6th, Laidlaw 7th, Malahi in 8th, Simmons 9th, Laidlaw 10th, and Rahil Taneja in 11th position. That's all the cars that are left running. Alex Renner didn't start. Colin Younger pitted on lap number 1. And then we have James Greenwood and Avik Anwar after that collision. Not sure if there's going to be damage on Charlie Simmons' car on the right-hand side, because that got the 27 quite airborne. Safety car makes its way down through turn number 13. We have 2 minutes 12 seconds on our race clock. Now with 2 minutes to go, they will get probably this lap. Let's have a look at the replay of how this all played out again. It was under brakes down into turn side. That's Simmons on the outside, Greenwood in the middle, Anwar on the inside. And you can see Anwar in the 71 just drifts out wide, contact with Simmons there. And then she's gone back across the track, and it's Anwar then in to Greenwood. And that's how that all played out. So we'll definitely leave that one, and the incident involving car 27, 71 and 28 will be investigated after the race. Good news is that both drivers got out of the cars under their own steam, which was fantastic. A little bit of work for the teams to get done, as we're having to put this car on the flatbed. I've got 1 minute remaining on our race clock. And the safety car continues on its probably 60 to 80 kilometres an hour journey around there, and now we have red flagged the race. The race has been red flagged because we won't be able to finish it under anything else but safety car. The red flag will take us back to finishing order will be actually the lap before the red flag came out. So all the cars will cross the start finish line to finish that first, well, 3/4 of a lap they had under the safety car. As James makes his way, the extrication team down there with him. But due to the time schedule we have with the night practice coming up for the 24 hours, the 1.5 hour session, yeah, that'll buff out. It'll be fine. That's James Greenwood car being brought back to the paddock. Cars will be brought into pit lane by the safety car now that we are under red flag. And the safety car now making its way down the back straight. And clock stopped at 49 seconds for the red flag, which means we almost got full race distance minus 1 lap. So we always do 25 laps plus 25 minutes plus 1 lap. We're not going to quite get there, unfortunately. But fantastic racing while it lasted. But Clio Cups, one make championships, it's always the way. Something's always going to happen. You've got the same power, you've got the same tyres, you've got the same car. Yeah, and if you're fighting over the same piece of tarmac, sometimes it doesn't end well, and it didn't for James Greenwood and Avik Anwar. There's our very experienced safety team here heads back in towards pit lane. Our cars are just heading down towards turn 13 and turn 14. And just a little bit of a early end to this race. Most unfortunate, but they do have another race tomorrow. And that will be coming your way before we kick off with the 19th running of the 24 Hours of Dubai, powered by Hankook. That race will get underway at 1 p.m. local time tomorrow. As Stanislav Novikov will lead them back around behind the safety car. Him and Eduardo Miranda. I don't think that argument was done. I think there was still left in it. Eduardo Miranda is leading the championship at the moment. The overall standings on 108 points. And I think he wanted to continue on with that. And I don't think he's going to be happy with the red flag, but just due to the fact that he needed those 2 laps to get up on the back of Novikov. Unfortunately, Sidorov was too far back in 3rd position, around about 5 seconds when the safety car was called. But they've got another chance to come out and play, and probably in front of a fairly large crowd tomorrow afternoon. Should see them on track tomorrow. Well, their race started around about 10:30 a.m. for race 2, around number 5. James is just getting a little bit of exercise out there. Cars now making their way into pit lane. There we see the #1 position for Stanislav Novikov, who takes the win. Puts a dent in the door of Eduardo Miranda's car. They had a great battle, and he's very, very happy for that one. And his team very happy as well.
But anyway, not bad.
А я его пустил,
Ну, я видел, да.
Я специально пустил, мало ли будут закапывать.
Не, если было бы на последнем круге, можно, мне кажется...
Yes, Sidorov pulls that number 88 car up into 3rd position. And the guys will head up to the podium very, very shortly.
Thank you, congratulations.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
So what we're going to give you is just the provisional standings at this stage, pending investigations, etc., etc. And Stanislav Novikov, our winner of race #1 this weekend, and of round #5. Eduardo Miranda in 2nd. Ilya Sidorov in 3rd. In 3rd position, let's have a look at what's coming up next for the Clio Cup Middle East. As Dubai Autodrome now resplendent under lights. And there is their race #2, 10:15 a.m. GMT +4 for GMT +4, so 10:15 local time tomorrow for race #2, another 25 minutes plus 1 lap. And that's where we're going to wrap it up here today for round 5, race 1 of the Clio Cup Middle East Championship for 23-24 season. My name's Phil Anson. We look forward to your company tomorrow when we go Clio Cup racing again. Bye for now.